My dear Scorpio, not every connection in your life is created equal, and you have known that longer and more deeply than almost anyone. Because you do not experience relationships casually. You never have. When you let someone in, something real happens. Something that does not unhappen easily. You remember everything. You notice everything. You feel the shift in a room before anyone else has registered that something changed. And you carry all of that quietly, because you learned early that not everyone can handle the full weight of what you observe. So you became selective. Not cold, selective. You built a standard that most people never see because you never advertise it. They either meet it or they do not, and you know which one is true faster than they would believe. The people who meet it tend to stay in your life for a very long time. And the people who do not, well, you were polite about it. Mostly. Understanding who you are naturally built to connect with is not about closing anyone out. It is about recognizing what you already know intuitively. The pattern has always been there. Let's put some language to it. Here are the 3 signs you tend to build something genuinely lasting with, and why those pairings hold up the way they do. The first sign worth understanding is Cancer. And if you have a close Cancer in your life, you may already feel the particular quality of safety that comes with them, which is not a word you use lightly. Cancer is a cardinal water sign, ruled by the moon, associated with emotional memory, nurturing, and a fierce protectiveness of the people they have chosen. You are a fixed water sign, with Mars as your traditional ruler and Pluto associated with you in modern astrology, connected to depth, transformation, and an almost relentless drive to understand what is actually true. Both of you are water, which means both of you feel first and analyze second. Both of you carry the past with you in ways that other signs find difficult to understand. And both of you are capable of a loyalty that borders on fierce when someone has genuinely earned it. Here is the specific texture of this pairing. Cancer is the one sign that matches your emotional depth without being threatened by it. Most people, when they encounter the full weight of what you feel, take a small step back. Cancer does not step back. They step closer. They're oriented around protection and nurturing, and something in them recognizes that underneath all your self-possession, there is someone who has been carrying a great deal alone for a very long time. Picture a night when something has genuinely gotten under your skin. Not something you would announce, not something you would show to most people. But Cancer noticed. They did not ask a direct question because they knew better. They just stayed close. They made something warm, or put on something quiet, or simply did not leave. And in that staying, without words, without extraction, they communicated something that very few people ever manage to communicate to you, that you do not have to manage this alone. That moment lands with you in a way that you do not forget. Over time, this pairing tends to build a bond that is extraordinarily private and extraordinarily solid. Neither of you broadcasts what you share. Neither of you takes the relationship lightly. Both of you show up when it matters with a consistency that becomes the bedrock of the connection. Cancer teaches you that receiving care is not the same as being vulnerable in a dangerous way. You teach Cancer that emotional depth, expressed with honesty instead of indirection, is more powerful than protection alone. Here is how to deepen this connection. The next time Cancer does something caring for you, something small and unannounced, acknowledge it specifically. Out loud. You tend to receive care quietly, which Cancer can misread as indifference. They track whether their effort landed. Show them it did. A specific, direct acknowledgement from you means more to Cancer than you realize, because they know you do not say things you do not mean. The second sign is Pisces. This pairing has a different quality than Cancer, more fluid, less structured, and it works for reasons that are worth examining carefully. Pisces is a mutable water sign, ruled by Jupiter in traditional astrology and associated with Neptune in modern astrology. Neptune connects to imagination, compassion, and a kind of empathy that operates almost without boundaries. Where Cancer offers you emotional safety through consistency, Pisces offers you something else entirely. They offer you the experience of being felt rather than figured out. Most people in your life try to understand you by analyzing you. Pisces does not analyze. They attune. They pick up what is underneath what you are saying, not through logic, but through something closer to instinct, and they respond to that underneath thing directly. For you, Scorpio, that is disarming in the best possible way. Because you are the one who always sees beneath the surface. Being on the receiving end of that is a genuinely unusual experience. Here is what makes this pairing work on a deeper level. You're fixed, which means you hold your position. You commit to people, to ideas, to a version of the truth that you have arrived at through careful observation. Pisces is mutable, which means they flow. They do not hold rigidly. They move around you rather than against you. And that movement, that softness, does not read to you as weakness. It reads as adaptability. It reads as someone who is not interested in a power struggle, who just wants to be close. Picture a conversation that drifts from something ordinary into something honest. You said something real, not fully intending to. Pisces received it without reacting to it, without cataloging it, without making you feel like you had just handed someone ammunition. They just held it. And the fact that they held it carefully made you want to say something else real. That gradual opening, rare for you, is what Pisces tends to draw out. Over time, this pairing builds a relationship with a quality of tenderness that surprises people who know you from the outside. Pisces gives you a space where your intensity softens without disappearing. You give Pisces a steadiness that keeps them from drifting into places that are not good for them. What you teach each other, quietly and over time, is that strength and softness are not in opposition. They are just two different expressions of depth. Here is what you can do to strengthen this bond. When Pisces seems to drift or go vague, do not push for clarity. Instead, suggest something grounding and concrete. A walk, a meal, a simple shared task. Pisces reconnects through presence, not through direct conversation. Meet them in the physical world first. The clarity tends to follow. The third sign is Virgo. This one surprises some people, and the surprise is understandable, because on the surface Virgo and Scorpio look quite different. Virgo is a mutable earth sign, ruled by Mercury, associated with analysis, precision, and a drive to understand how things actually work beneath the appearance of how they work. You are fixed water, oriented around feeling, depth, and truth. But here is what those two orientations share, and it is the foundation of why this pairing works so specifically well. Both of you are fundamentally intolerant of pretense. Virgo spots inconsistency through logic. You spot it through instinct. But you are both looking for the same thing, which is what is actually true, not what is being performed. That shared orientation toward reality, beneath the social surface, creates a mutual recognition that can happen quite quickly between you and a Virgo. There is a moment, often early in a Virgo and Scorpio dynamic, where both people simultaneously realize that the other one is not going to be fooled. And instead of feeling threatened by that, both people feel relieved. Picture a work situation where something is being presented that is not quite right. Everyone else in the room is nodding along. You are not nodding. And across the table, Virgo is not nodding either. They have already found the specific flaw in the specific number in the specific paragraph. After the meeting, without planning to, the two of you end up in the same place at the same time, and the first thing Virgo says is exactly what you were thinking. That moment of alignment, of two people who both looked closely and both saw the same thing, is the beginning of a great deal of trust. Over time, this pairing tends to build a relationship based on a very particular kind of respect. The respect of two people who both do their homework. Neither of you accepts things at face value. Neither of you is easily manipulated. And both of you know that about each other, which creates a foundation of credibility that other relationships sometimes lack. Virgo teaches you to name what you observe rather than simply acting on it. You teach Virgo that some truths live beneath what can be measured, and that those truths are worth paying attention to. Here is the move to deepen this connection. Share your reasoning with Virgo, not just your conclusion. You tend to arrive at a position through intuition and present it as settled fact. Virgo trusts a conclusion more when they can see how you got there. Walk them through your thinking, even partially. They will engage with it seriously, and that engagement will build a level of intellectual intimacy between you that becomes one of the most durable parts of this relationship. So there they are. Cancer, Pisces, Virgo. 3 very different relationships, each meeting a different part of who you are. With Cancer, it is the rare relief of someone who stays close without needing you to explain why you need them to. With Pisces, it is the quietly extraordinary experience of being felt by someone who does not need to analyze you first. And with Virgo, it is the solid satisfaction of being known by someone who looked carefully and was not fooled and stayed anyway. Which of these 3 resonated most deeply with you? Was there a face that came to mind? A relationship you have had for years that suddenly has a little more clarity around it? I would genuinely love to hear about it. Drop it in the comments. You do not have to share everything, just the part that felt most true. If this resonated with you, I am glad you found it, and I would love to have you stay. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a blessed day.